Thank you for tuning in to this week's Just Ball Things. If you're catching us on the podcast, remember to give us a rating and review. And now, on with the show.
Shut up and sit down.
This week on JBT, we've got some Lakers chat for you on this episode as we discuss whether Luke Walton has the right to be in the hot seat in LA and whether Tyson Chandler will solve all of their problems. And Houston, we have a problem. We'll be discussing whether the Rockets are in more trouble than the Washington Wizards. We'll be discussing the dynamic duo there in Golden State, Kyrie's new do, and the parenting and grandparenting woes of Doc Rivers. And we'll be discussing who's had the biggest impact on their team, LeBron or Coach Bud. So shut up, sit down, because JBT is about to begin. Good morning, afternoon, or evening from wherever you're listening across the world. Welcome to another episode of Just Ball Things. With me today, as always, sitting next to me is the J-Man, Jack Manuel. How are you, mate? I didn't screw up the intro that time. I'm on a roll. Yeah,
it's, I don't know, maybe it's the weather. Normally you're quite befuddled and, the pollen's been around
I think it's springtime's killing me with the hay fever. I've been blocked and just...
You're a mess of a man.
Speaking of a mess of a man.
Yes.
My name is Nick Busink, and that is your mess of a man. It sums up. I did the most Nick Busink thing. For those of you who want an insight of who is the real Nick Busink.
This encompasses him entirely.
What I did today, a couple of days ago, is just perfect me. I was set to play basketball with good Jack over here.
Yeah, mate.
Set at 3:45, whatever. Lunchtime rolls around. I'm like, I'm a bit peckish, as you do.
What do you make?
So I go to the kitchen.
Yeah.
As you do.
Of course. There's food
I get myself some bread. I'm ready to make myself a sandwich.
White bread? Brown bread?
Brown bread.
Brown bread.
It's got to be brown bread.
Okay, nice fibre.
I go to the pantry. I think I was having it was a basic sandwich. I was just having peanut butter.
Yeah.
So I went to the I got the bread, brought it back to the bench.
Yes.
I went to get the peanut butter.
Okay.
Silly me, did 2 trips.
Wow.
Rolled my ankle.
You rolled your ankle getting peanut butter in the kitchen.
I rolled my ankle making myself a sandwich.
That's I feel like that if you're getting that on like an injury report, that's one of the weirdest injuries I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know, J.R. Smith throwing soup at someone was pretty...
he didn't get injured.
I guess no one.
If he hurt his wrist doing that, that might have been strange.
Didn't someone? Oh, there's a soccer player, Andy Carroll. He twisted his ankle putting on his shoe.
But Andy Carroll's known for getting injured all the time, isn't he?
I mean, well, that's what I mean. Like, it's so me to hurt myself whilst preparing myself food.
You played a couple of days later.
It was a bad role. I couldn't play that day.
You killed some 16-year-olds. I beat you the day before, but you weren't feeling it. The pollen was getting to you. But we shall not speak about our basketball exploits because we're trash.
They are not very good.
No, they're not. Nick's J's nice. I've started to hit the room a little bit better. But what do we do first on this thing? What is it called?
I think it's called the Busing Manuel Scale.
Busing Manuel.
Busing Manuel Scale.
That's one.
It's where me and Jack... sum up things how
Jack
likely
and
they
Die.
are. Jack and Die, sorry. Mr. English teacher man. I mean, you teach 12-year-olds, if that.
At the peak of my teaching career.
The peak of the 12-year-old... Anyway. For those of you who are new, this is a scale where we sum up how likely things are to happen in the NBA. We put it on a scale of alternative fact, Twitter fact, Wikipedia fact, and straight up.
So you
fact.
didn't mess up the intro, you messed up the thing that is written down right in front of you as well.
Yeah, but I wasn't reading it.
Alright. God.
I'm an off-script sort of man.
Of course you are. And that's what makes our podcast so...
unique.
Yeah, we'll go with unique.
That's a word for it. Alright. We'll start off here with some LA news, as every podcast in existence does.
Yes.
We all sort of gravitate towards LeBron James. Luke Walton has no right to be on the hot seat in LA. I mean, we saw Ty Lue get fired. A few other coaches are on the hot seat, being my
Wiz Nation.
Yes, Wiz Nation. Luke Walton obviously not having the flash start that everyone had hoped for. He's got a few comments here, so we'll send it over to good old Lukey, and we'll have a listen.
Management is going to give you the latitude to be patient?
I feel like I have a great relationship with management, yes.
Do you feel like you have job security?
I feel like I'm coming down here to do my job and coach, and I don't feel like I'm going anywhere, no.
So obviously that reporter there has brought up, do you think you have job security? Does Luke Walton deserve to be on the hot seat right now?
I mean, if we're going to abuse
I
Wally...
think they're 3-4 now.
Yeah, they won today's game.
They won today, but 2-4 at the time.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the games that they've lost have been against good teams as well. Like, they lost to the Rockets, they lost to the Spurs twice.
I mean, are the Rockets good?
Well, yeah, they beat us, Nicholas, so give me
They
something.
must be amazing. Yeah.
I mean, the Rockets, yeah, I mean, you can argue what you want, but a lot of the comments coming out were the fact that Magic Johnson wasn't necessarily unhappy with the record. It was more the way the offense was flowing. And to me, it wasn't necessarily from just an outside perspective. I know you, Nick, have probably watched a couple of Lakers games as well. It's not the offense that's any problem. It's the defense. It's like JaVale McGee. LeBron James has become an absolute sieve on the defensive end in the regular season. And to me, that's where it starts. You got to have your leader engaged on both ends of the floor. And that's, for me, where it really is. And I mean, obviously, Luke Walton and Magic Johnson had their clash. It was reported by literally everyone. And we're talking about it now. So it's obviously going to be some major news. But I certainly don't think so. I'm going to go, he doesn't deserve to be. No right to be. Yes, I'm going to go straight up fact for this one.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. It's a it's a work in progress. I feel like, despite how dominant LeBron James has been, it's a different domination compared to Cleveland. I feel like he was more involved in Cleveland's play. Like, if the Cavs were struggling, it would be LeBron James that would take over. I feel like he's deferring a lot more in the Lakers in an offensive setting. He's still getting his 25 points a game. However much he's averaging.
I think he's still like top 5 in scoring as well.
But you see him, I don't know, you see him directing a lot more. And taking, I mean, people might see it as taking possessions off. I see it as coaching.
Yeah, I think we've heard LeBron say before that, like, when it comes to the playoffs, he has sort of like game ones to sort of feel out what the series is going to be. That's how it seems like what he's doing with the Lakers right now, feeling things out. It's a completely new team. The chemistry isn't there yet. The chemistry isn't there yet for many of the teams in the NBA that are rebuilding a roster. A lot of the best teams in the NBA right now are the ones that have had consistency with their roster, and they've had maybe one piece. Look at Toronto. Look at Boston. And Milwaukee have had some changes, but I think that's probably been for the better. So I don't understand why he's on the hot seat. I don't think he is. I think that the perceived pressure. Jeannie Buss is one of the ones that hired him. She did hire in Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka after Luke Walton was still instilled as coach. So I think that there's obviously going to be some friction there, similar to what Ty Lue, obviously he was hired by, or he was not necessarily hired by, but he was instilled after David Blatt by David Griffin. So there's obviously going to be, you can construe that however way you will. But there's other Laker news, Nicholas. What are you putting this on the scale first? Because
I'm
fact
completely facts skis.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, he's not. He has no right to be on that hot seat.
No, not at all.
When you compare other coaches, 3-4, especially now after that win, is not a bad place to be.
Yeah, and it was a nice win. Quite a nice win against Portland after they lost to them early in the season.
Found
that
3-ball. That's what they did.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that they're going to grow. There's a lot of moving pieces with the Los Angeles Lakers, as there will be, and obviously we'll be covering them plenty. But staying on the Lakers, the signing of Tyson Chandler will help solve some of their problems. I didn't put all, Nicholas. It might help something.
It will help something. They need it. I mean, the center problem has always been a massive thing for the Lakers going forward.
Zubac, you're not a Zubac fan?
I mean,
Jonathan Williams, baby.
But the depth was
no.
always, I mean, when Zubac is your second, they're playing Kuzma at the 5.
Yep.
LeBron obviously isn't a fan of playing at the 5, but he's played there as well. And the likes of JaVale McGee is your starter, which I'm fine with.
He's playing.
I mean, I love me some JaVale. I think he's averaging 18 points a game.
Yeah, he's averaging near career numbers. And I put out a piece on the signing on OTGBasketball.com. He's averaging the most minutes, 27.1, since he was in Washington 7 years ago. You know, when he was in Golden State, he was a makeshift starter, played 15, 20 minutes here and there. And, you know, LeBron thinks he's the defensive player of the year right now. You know, he's leading the league in blocks. He's having an awesome season, but he is still, and I hate to say this, he is still JaVale McGee. He's not going to be your the solution to all your center woes. You know, you can't have him playing 27 minutes a night for 82 games in the season because he's aging. He's like, obviously, he's not going to put this up this production for the next 70 games or so. And that's not to say that the addition of Tyson Chandler might not help. And that's what I said in my piece. Give Tyson Chandler 10, 12, maybe 15 minutes a night. Let him get some boards. He's sort of similar to JaVale McGee in the sense that he's an elite... I think Tyson has proven he's a more elite rebounder, but he has lost a step defensively, and obviously due to age and stuff. But I think he plugs in... He does sort of give them something in terms of depth, like you mentioned, Nicholas.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't solve their 3-ball problem. It doesn't solve it. I mean, he may plug a little bit more of defense when JaVale's off.
I don't think he's that great
but they've got
though.
Another big body.
Yeah, it helps. It just helps to have another center out there.
Exactly.
Because I think, like you were saying about Kyle Kuzma playing at the 5, I don't think that's worked tremendously well defensively. And that's where, like I mentioned earlier, that I think they've struggled the most. And I think you need to have generally a top 10 offense or defense, one of them. I remember doing a piece for, I can't remember if it was probably OTG basketball. To be a playoff contender, you need to be either top 10 in offense or top 10 in defense. Right now, it looks like the Lakers might be top 10 in offense.
Well, they're 7th at the moment in offensive rating, which is quite impressive.
But the reason why the Houston Rockets took their massive leap last season was because they were top 10 in defense as well. So if you have both of them, you're generally a playoff championship contender. But I don't think the Lakers are that. But
that's what I mean. Like the growing pains of this young Lakers team, they're already a top 10 offense in these early parts of the season. Defense is there's such an art to defense that it takes time.
Yeah.
It might not even click next season.
Yeah.
Perhaps the season after.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, moving pieces as well. But, yeah, I mean, I like the addition of Tyson Chandler. They've needed a center for a while. He can give you some serviceable minutes.
Yeah. That's all you need.
That's all that needs.
That's all they need. And LeBron was a little peeved early in the week, Nicholas. LeBron's comments on leadership bode ominously for the Lakers. We'll play you those comments right now.
LeBron, you've been preaching patience this whole year. At what point does that patience run out, and what do you look like as a leader when your patience does run out?
You probably don't want to be around when my patience run out.
Probably don't want to be around when my patience runs out.
Yikes.
Yikes. Is this is this something to be worried about? I mean, I'm not entirely sure. Like, are we overreacting to these comments? Because everyone was saying, "Oh my God, his patience has run out." Well,
no,
he hasn't said that.
He said it might run out.
He said that. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be around when my patience runs out. Fair enough. He might blow up in someone's face. That does not say that he has done that.
Or it's got to that point yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm
sure he's peeved.
I think the most noticeable thing, and our listeners could easily glean from the comments that LeBron made, was the tone of them more than anything. Like, you don't want to be... Like, he wasn't... It was...
Sounded like a threat.
Yeah, it was very threatening. Which is why I put ominous. And, like, I don't think they bode ominously. I think I'll give this Twitter a wiki because we know that LeBron is such a figurehead in the NBA and whatever team he is on. And for the Lakers right now, Magic Johnson, Luke Walton, the pressure is on them as a proxy because they have LeBron now. Mm-hmm. And you feel that internal pressure, that external pressure from all angles. So do they bone honestly? A little bit, which is why I'm going to Wiki before we... Yeah.
Wiki's pretty high up, though.
Well, but it's on whatever team you want to go with. Like, you know, if you're going back to the Miami Heat days when he was first there, they started 9-8 and the whole sky was falling. And apparently he asked Pat Riley if he wanted to coach again. So, like, LeBron is his own... he's just a completely different character.
I mean, since these comments, they want to know.
There we go, mate. There we go.
So maybe there's something to this.
Maybe
he just needed to call everyone out, and now they're starting to hit a gear. I mean, LeBron was ecstatic today. Like, Lakers extended their lead to 20.
I remember that. And
while
Josh
he was
Hart.
off the while he was off the court.
Yeah.
Josh Hart sinks a 3, and you just see that.
You know what it reminded me of? It also reminded me of when Jordan Clarkson and all those other guys came in for the first game against Boston. And he was doing like the arrows and stuff. But we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Obviously, plenty of Lakers talk.
Winning can paper over a lot of crowds.
Obviously. And we'll see how it goes, as it is going to be a rocky season, so roller coaster into marathon, all of the analogies you want to use. But Nicholas, the Houston Rockets are in more trouble than your Washington Wizards. If we did this a couple of days ago, this would have been more of a debate. But I think now it's alternative fact.
Yeah, because
we're
the worst team in the NBA.
That's pretty bad, bro.
We are 30th amongst everyone in
Does that hurt?
there's a few other 1-7s. I don't know how they calculate why we're lower.
Because you're the Wizards, alphabetically.
I mean, oh my god, that's just depressed me.
You could
even
be
more.
called like the Washington Alabamas. I don't know.
The Alabama Washington.
The Alabama Washingtons. There we go. But this is a clear alternative factor, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Rockets won. They won their game today against the Bulls.
And the Bulls.
As soon as Harden came back. Funny that.
Yeah, they were.
Actually, he wasn't back. He wasn't back against you.
He was back today.
He was back today, and he balled. He 28 points, I think.
Yeah, and Chris Paul dragged his team across the line against
30.
my Nets.
Yeah, 33.
He was doing some insane things.
The Jared Allen thing.
Oh man, that was it was pretty.
We've
nasty.
seen that move so often.
It's pretty.
He does it perfectly.
Yeah,
he's so good. It's always against the center as well.
Yeah, no, he's a very crafty, very clever. I love him as a player, but when I'm watching him and my team's versus him, I hate him so freaking much. But yeah, there are still issues with the Rockets. Mike D'Antoni, did you listen to the Low Post episode earlier in the week?
No.
It's a really fascinating listen, and he was very forthright in the fact that, due to the timing and everything, you wouldn't expect a coach to jump on board on a very public platform, one of the most popular, best podcasts out there, other than JBT, of course.
Of course.
Subscribe on iTunes, Block Talk Radio to everyone. So for me, yeah, he was worried about the defense. There were issues. In the game that I watched them against my Nets, their defense certainly had a lot of issues. We're not by any stretch an offensive juggernaut. But when they tightened that rotation, they didn't put Michael Carter-Williams out there. James Ennis didn't see as many minutes. And it was just sort of Melo and Gordon off the bench. And you have PJ Tucker, guys playing 35-plus minutes. That's when they were like the Rockets of old, so to speak. Their defense tightened up. The schemes looked sound. Clint Capella was balling. I think they're going to work themselves into form. Whether they're going to be a championship contender again this season remains to be seen. But my Nets and the Bulls have given them some form going forward, whereas your Wizards, I mean, Dwight Howard can only do so much.
Yeah, well,
6 minutes.
This is a piece about Rockets. This is a thing about the Rockets.
So
about being worse
we're
than the
glossing
Wizards.
over.
So we're going to talk about the Rockets.
Come on.
What was damning about the Rockets so far is that they weren't just getting beaten; they were getting wiped off the court by their opponents. They won today by, I think, maybe 10 against the Bulls.
Wasn't the best performance.
I know.
They got the job done.
James Harden had a good game with 27 points. I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
That's not a good game for MVP James Harden last year.
But he's his first game back from injury as well.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's all...
Grain of salt.
Exactly. What is alarming is how much they've fallen off offensively and defensively. Offensively was a surprise. Defensively, maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe not to the extent that we thought. I think they're 29th in defense or something ridiculous. I've got the stats here. I just can't find it.
You add in Michael Carter-Williams.
27th they are in
27th.
defensive rating.
So if you're a bottom 5 defensive team, you're not going to be challenging for a championship, despite the fact that LeBron did it with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think that the Rockets don't have that luxury. And going forward, the Jimmy Butler news, we dissected that plenty on last week's episode if you want to have a listen to it. But there are plenty of problems. There are plenty of problems with the Wizards, Nick. Do you want to even talk about it, or do you just want to go to the next topic?
I don't want to talk about the Wizards.
All right, mate.
They've broken my basketball spirit.
I'm sorry,
It's
mate.
so sad to watch them right now.
You should go for the Nets now. Jump on the Brooklyn Buzz with me and Nick. We're doing gangbusters, mate. Why not? But we'll move on. Markelle Fultz needs to be taken out of the Sixers starting lineup, Nicholas. Now, I'll preface this by saying one of the OTG writers, Matt Peoples, is going to have a piece on Markelle Fultz. He had him as a breakout player this season, but he's going to delve into what has been happening with him this season. Does he need to start? Does he need to be benched? We'll take a look at that, obviously, on OTGbasketball.com, so stay tuned for that. But, Nick, what are your thoughts on the situation in Philadelphia surrounding the sophomore?
Well, one thing I would have wished I knew how to do bloody on-off numbers.
It's hard, yeah.
I don't know how to do on-off numbers.
John Schumann, hit us up.
For NBA stats. What I want to, I guess, say is how well
Embiid?
Maybe not Embiid, but more how that team flows with Fultz on the court.
Yeah.
I think.
But Simmons at the same time.
Well, that's exactly right. They can clash. You got some stuff for me, Jackie?
Statskis. Sixers off, and this was a couple of days ago around Halloween. Sixers offense with both Fultz and Simmons on the floor is 86.5 points per 100 possessions. That's disgustingly bad. When one of them is on the bench, it's 110.5. So, I mean, take with that what you will. Neither is a great shooter.
Exactly.
There have been some nice signs in the past couple of games from Fultz in terms of his aggression and mentality. Simmons, mind you, his jump shot looks as broken as mine.
That's what I mean. You can't have... in a starting lineup, when you're starting the games, like you're facing against that team's best five. You can't have two non-shooters out there. It clogs up the court.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense because... Derek Bodner had another really an enlightening sort of tweet when it comes to the situation with Fultz, Simmons, and their chemistry on and off the court. When Fultz is on the court without Simmons, he averages 19 points, 9 assists per 100 possessions on 45.2% field goal, whereas when he's on together, that goes down to less than 35%, just over 12 points, and less than 5 assists. So it is small sample
that's the thing.
size.
It's small sample size, but I think the trend
yes,
is...
it's solid,
yeah.
and you can take away from it. And I think that's what we say about, in general, about basketball in the early goings. Like, how do you take from it? You know, JJ Redick's been awesome. Landry Shamet, however you want to say it, he's been really good for them, the Sixers rookie. You know, providing them a nice little spark, sort of, you know, Redick 2.0, sort of, you know, rookie Redick, so to speak. But the Sixers will be fascinating going forward. Joel Embiid is freaking insane. You know, he did his little troll job on Andre Drummond yet again. Posted an Insta video doing some nice dance moves. I mean, if you didn't do the troll job where he got him ejected last week where we talked about it, I'd be all in on it. But
I mean, just don't flop. That's all you need to do, Jojo. That's all you need to do.
We shall move on, Nicholas. And we've got to get to the Warriors because they're balling. And this is via Off the Glass on Twitter. Stephen Curry is the best offensive player in the game. Now, I'll preface this with the Twitter results from the poll. 82% said yes, 18% said no. What camp are you in? Faxies? Non-faxies?
I hate to do this.
Why? What are you doing now?
Actually, I'll use this on the next topic that we do.
Okay.
Steph Curry is
good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is he the best offensive player on his day? Yes.
Yes.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
On the whole, I wouldn't. No, not necessarily.
You don't think he's the best offensive player in the game?
Not if he is. If he's giving me MVP level Steph Curry,
which is what he's been. He's winning the MVP now.
Which is okay. Fair enough.
That's what I would say.
Then yes, I would certainly say yes because he's unguardable, and that's what I think is important. Because if he's not on his day, he's very guardable.
Yeah, but I
think his size lets him down.
But I
think
because
he can't help that.
But
if his crazy 3-point shots aren't falling, which they have been at obviously
they have been for the past
crazy
decade.
rates, yes. Not necessarily the past. Would you have called Steph Curry the best offensive player last year? No,
because he was injured for 30 games or so. Whereas I get what you're saying. Where I think he has to be healthy. I think Stephen Curry healthy is one of the most impactful players in the NBA, offensively, not defensively, by any stretch of the imagination. but I think he just impacts so heavily. You know, he just changes the entire aura of the NBA. He's transcendent in how he's changed this game. We've talked about it at length. You know, Dave DeFore did a nice little tweet. He says, if you're going to compare Steph's effect on the court with anyone, it has to be Shaq because, and I get what he's saying there, because their effect in terms of how much they dominate, obviously physical dominance in terms of Shaq, and he's unguardable, like you were saying. Steph is unguardable with how he gets open lanes and he's surrounded by Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, Draymond Green. It's just unfathomable how good he's been right now. And I think he's almost, if we're doing the MVP right now, he easily wins it because Davis and Giannis have been up and down and LeBron has been as well. Joel Embiid's been pretty good as well. I'd probably have him in that sort of margin. But who would, if you're saying all of these star offensive players, KD, LeBron, are like killing it and they're at their best, is Steph still the most effective offensive player?
I don't think so.
Who is then?
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
That a 7-foot shooter.
And you're going by
Who can handle like
Finals MVP? You're sort of looking.
yeah.
to
I mean
that
that's.
as
I mean
evidence?
yeah. If we're taking those three that you mentioned, Steph, LeBron, KD,
They're the top three players in the game.
I mean they're killer. Maybe not to the extent of LeBron. Well, actually, maybe not even Steph as well. But that's what KD has. He's got that Kobe rip your heart out mentality, and he's done it to the Cavs twice now.
Yeah.
I think that if I'm comparing the offensive caliber of Kevin Durant on his day and Stephen Curry on his day, I'm going to take Stephen Curry.
Yeah,
but
they're on the freaking same team, bro.
Exactly. That's what's crazy.
I know.
But if I'm taking a player who is going to give me, their averages.
Okay.
They're like just in their average player. I think KD has more days, has more consistency.
But we've seen, I get sort of what you're going
only-
individually, but like Steph Curry, before Kevin Durant got there, was a two-time MVP.
Was still amazing.
And guys, let us know your
And
thoughts.
that second MVP was amazing.
Yeah.
Like simply amazing.
And I think that in the first sort of 10 games or so, you could make a very, very...
That's what I'm saying. Like that was Steph Curry at his best.
And I think right now...
And he peaked so freaking high, but I've seen a lot of games where Steph Curry has struggled.
I would
a
argue
lot.
this season he's back to that level, if not as great.
Yeah,
But
potentially,
we'll
yeah.
see how long it goes on. But Nicholas, another team around the California area, the Sacramento Kings are finally on the right track, baby.
Can't believe it.
Well, hey, De'Aaron Fox, Willie Cauley-Stein.
MIP, De'Aaron Fox. Or
No,
even
Karis
MIP,
LeVert, baby.
MIP, Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's been... I watched more of the Kings in pre-season. Surprising. I don't know why. It might have just been the team that were playing.
Why not? Get around him.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing out of Willie Cauley-Stein. I'm like, maybe there's something to this. I didn't believe it because it was Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah.
But
He's proven
it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he has. Looked so effective, so athletic.
Their system now that Diego's implemented in terms of just, and obviously it's what the NBA is all about now, in terms of just pace and just getting a billion possessions, as many as he can, affects like him and De'Aaron Fox so greatly. Like De'Aaron Fox has been given the keys to just go bang. That triple-double the other day, he unfortunately isn't going to make JBTeam, but if we were doing rookie watch or sophomore watch, he's been absolutely amazing. So has Willie Cauley-Stein. Buddy Hield's killing it. I'm loving what he's doing. But when the Kings are a plus 11.4 per 100 possessions with Fox on the floor, this is via hardwood paroxysm, and then negative 28.9 per 100 possessions with him on the bench. That's a difference. That's a net difference of 40.3 points on the 100 possessions better. That's insane how good he's been so far.
What has really improved with Fox has been his efficiency. I think he's up 10% from his rookie year. Five extra minutes, but he was still getting good. He was still getting starting minutes for the Kings last year. The system is obviously playing into his hands perfectly to give him more open shots, to give him the confidence and just to have the level of play that he's playing at is tremendous.
Yeah.
He's averaging about 20 points. I think it's like 19.8 or something like that.
Yeah.
Points per game in these first 10 odd games. And if we recall back,
Yep.
Darren Fox was my rookie of the year
A couple of years ago.
last year.
Yeah.
It was last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
Because because of his speed, he was so explosive. He reminded me of Russell Westbrook in that
Reminds me of John Wall as well.
he had the speed and ferocity in which he plays at.
Yeah.
And played at college. I mean, that was why I had him as my pick.
Yeah.
And he's certainly showing his stuff now. So
Yeah, he's doing awesome.
the Kings right back on track. This is a hashtag fact.
Yep, hashtag fact as well. I mean, obviously, how long it'll last, but who cares?
I mean, who cares? If they get 25, 30 wins this season,
And they play like this, that's all that
that is
matters.
great.
Yeah, I think it's...
They cannot make playoffs and still have a good season.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. It's about
speaks
development.
volume about what the Kings have been through the past 10 years
I
of.
know.
But, yeah.
And they don't have their own picks, so they want to win, obviously.
Yeah.
But another
Obviously,
team,
college,
I'll
yeah.
quickly touch on Nicholas, that I think is doing similar sort of things. Obviously, we don't speak about these lesser glamour markets as much. The Memphis Grizzlies, sneakily fourth in their division, fourth in the Western Conference right now. Conley, Gasol, Jaren Jackson, these guys have beaten the Utah Jazz twice already. They're sneakily doing some good things, but do you have any thoughts on the Grizzlies before we move on?
It's just surprising. I mean, more surprising about the Jazz. More surprising about the Jazz and how
Lackluster?
and how lackluster they have been. But wow.
Yeah,
Grizz.
I remember saying when we were discussing things like the Suns, the Mavs, the Grizzlies, and I was high-ish. I actually think, I might have to tweet it back out, I did a hot take for OTGBasketball.com, that the Grizzlies will make the playoffs. I think they've got every chance. I think they've got every chance at the way they're playing. That sort of, 8th seed range. The Spurs are absolutely dominating as well. But we sort of expect them to just be good because it's Popovich. But Nick, Kyrie's new do saved the Celtics season.
Hashtag fact.
There's a lot of facts going.
We're spot on with our topics right now. They're all true. Nothing crazy here.
What happened?
It is amazing. I mean, he had the little throw, and I was a fan of it. Maybe John Wall needs to do the same thing because John Wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
trash. It's been trash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Klay Thompson had the little throw, and he was going cold. He didn't cut it, but he put the headband on.
New headband, new look.
Exactly, new look, and changed everything.
Yeah.
Kyrie cuts his hair. It's what he's used to. It was what he had with the Cavs.
Yep, smooth.
Early Celtics.
Slick.
Exactly.
Bang bang.
That flat line
the line.
at the front.
It was on point.
On fleek.
Yeah.
And goes out and has amazing games. Like I would love to. I'm going to go back.
I think the first game he had like 31-5-5. I think the most important thing was just it seemed like the Kyrie evolved. And obviously,
Yeah, exactly.
And I think
he cut his hair against the Bucks, or was it the game before the Bucks?
I think it was the Bucks. So that's because that's the game that they won.
Yeah.
Gave the Bucks their first loss of the season.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He was the key reason. He was awesome again. Tonight against the Pacers in a loss. But he's just been on a tear of late, and he's proving the fact that he is one of the best guards in the league. And there's he's one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player to watch, because he's just so goddamn entertaining.
I mean, we saw the little move he did against the Pistons. It was against the Pistons. That's what he brought back.
Oh man,
because that was devastating.
I wish just for like a day, like against you when we're playing some 1-on-1, I want to have Kyrie's handles. I just want to have that and just be able to like be a beast.
That was amazing. Yeah.
It's so insane, and it's part of the reason why I think he's my favorite. I'm going fact as well.
Yeah, he was 28 points, 50% shooting from 3 and from the floor against the Bucks.
He has a great shooting motion. He is one of the purest shooters, and he proved that in the finals, a couple of years ago for the Cavs. But he's just he's proving again. We were sort of debating about Tatum, is he overtaken as the franchise guy out in Boston. It's Kyrie's team, and it always will.
And
be.
then 31 points against the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
With that slick handle as well. Like, he's back.
He's back,
I
baby.
mean, it's not... The NBA players and sports people in general are some of the most superstitious people in the world.
Yeah.
And so if something's not working, they're going to change back. I tweeted this out. You watch Klay Thompson. I'd like to see... I haven't watched a Golden State Warriors game since his amazing performance. I'd like to see if he's still wearing that headband.
Yeah. Well, he was Jackie Moon for Halloween, so he continued the trend. But Nick, the Pelicans' over-reliance on Anthony Davis will ultimately force his departure from the franchise. This is inspired by a piece by Yahoo Sports. Did you read it? You probably didn't read it.
I didn't read it.
Of course you didn't read it. You are never prepared for this podcast. I'll go with what I think, and then you could skim through it because you are an unprepared bum. I think that this has some credence, so I'll probably go Twitskis. We're changing the Twitter and the wikis to now skis.
Twitskis.
Twitskis. So I think that there is some merit to it because he said that, like, he thinks he has to be, like, perfect for the Pelicans to get the win. And you can't have that. I don't think that's sustainable. You need to have your second star, so to speak. Drew Holiday is awesome. Nikola Mirotic has been pretty good. Obviously, his hot early season start. They've come back a bit down to earth a little bit now since he's been injured. And I think that they are over-reliant on him. But I think most teams are over-reliant on their stars. It's a star-driven league. So will it force his departure? That's a question that remains to be seen. Boston, LA, these teams are going to be waiting.
You're seeing super teams being constructed, more and more, I guess.
Well, like Draymond Green in the game against the Pelicans, people just obviously went as far as you could and as hyperbolic and as out there as you could because they were just chatting. It's just like, okay, well, he's going to join the Warriors now. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, let's just let it to rest. I think if he's going anywhere, it's probably Boston. Maybe LA. I don't know. I'm not in Anthony Davis's head. I don't want to be on his head either because that eyebrow looks a bit yucky to be a lot of.
It is a nice platform to stand on, though. It's definitely flat, but it would be different to not be the guy. There's a lot of pressure, obviously, for being the guy, but he would.
I mean, I'm the guy on this podcast.
He would obviously get. Keep dreaming, mate. He would obviously get anything and everything to keep him happy.
I mean, he can also get the super duper duper match.
He's king.
Yeah.
In
New Orleans. But
at the end of the day, this is a career. This is a job. We obviously want to strive for what's
strive for greatness.
Strive for greatness. Head for that ultimate goal of the championship. But
that's not. Is it attainable for him unless he's on?
But it's not everyone's
pinnacle.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of people love being like their workplace.
Okay, yeah.
It's the same sort of mentality.
If you
love where you're playing, look at Charles Barkley.
Okay.
He loved where he he was still very good, and obviously was.
Do you want to get roasted by Shaq for the rest of your living life?
I mean, the championships are nice, and if you're a good player, franchises will do anything they can with the talent. With your talent to get as far into the championships as they can. Obviously, there are personality clashes. There are
money,
philosophical clashes between head office and coaching staff. You might not have the best coach to bring out this certain person, but this, there is so much that goes into winning a championship. It is crazy.
Yeah.
But is this over-reliance going to force his departure? No.
Okay, so
what is going to force his departure is that he's not happy with the Pelicans.
Okay.
Not the fact that he is being over-reliant. I think he would be one that would thrive in that position.
Most of these guys do it. I think that
he would love the pressure. He loves being the man.
I mean, that people are already talking about as probably being the best player in the NBA right now. I think Bill Simmons said on his pod, and I think right now in terms of impact, he's doing it with ease. I think on both ends of the floor, he's absolutely phenomenal, and I think he doesn't get a lot of credit. But I think it's starting to garner further and further, and it's going to be fascinating because he can earn a ridiculous contract if he gets another All-NBA, has another All-NBA level season. I think that's almost a given if he stays healthy, and earn 53 million plus over for the next 5 years. So it's going to be a myriad of factors that will determine his future: money, contract, championship, like you were saying, Nick. But Nicholas, buddy boy,
Bird,
Booty. Coach Budenholzer has made more of an impact on his team than LeBron has.
This is interesting. I mean, yeah.
Cool.
Mainly because of what I was mentioning before. I think LeBron's more or less not taking a complete he's not in a 7-seater car.
Yeah.
He's not in the backpack.
He's sort of in the middle.
But he's in the middle.
Right.
He's not onto the sides. If you're looking in the rearview mirror, you can still see him. You're the first person you'll see.
He's 6'9".
I'm very good at an analogy.
His head's probably sticking out the window.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely.
He's like Dino
there's a sunroof.
He's like Dino from from the Flintstones.
His head's sticking out of the sunroof. He is in that middle seat, and your people in the driver's seat, They can still see him.
Yeah.
They still know.
Magic can
he's
still see
there.
him. He's
Exactly.
got him.
But I feel like he's taken a semi-backseat in this Lakers team. So the impact of like a Cavs LeBron isn't there. I mean, he's 34.
Yeah.
He's trying to, prolong his NBA career as much as possible.
Of course.
But Budden,
Buddy boy.
amazing.
Hakill.
Amazing changes defensively and offensively. I think it was Haley O'Shaughnessy from the Ringer. I was listening to a podcast and her quote was great. Everyone was worried about the 3-point shot in Milwaukee Bucks. Turns out they had the personnel all along.
Yeah, they just needed a
They
coach.
just need. I mean, they just needed to start taking the threes.
Yeah, they needed the green light.
They needed the coach to set them up in a way that gave them the opportunity to shoot the three.
Yep.
They had the personnel all along.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it shows, like you said, he is impacting more. This is another fact. Bud was my pick for Coach of the Year. I think the narrative is swinging that way early on. But Nick, another Coach of the Year candidate, Nick Nurse. I put a Polsky's out. What do you think? Quick one. Nick Nurse is he a Coach of the Year candidate? Toronto Raptors doing some nice things, buddy boy.
7-1 or 8-1. They've only had one loss, I believe. The incorporation of Kawhi Leonard has been seamless.
Oh.
More so than I thought. He's got
He's
amazing
getting the rust out a little bit.
major reproduction. I'm not going to say production because reproduction
Okay.
out of Kyle Lowry. He has almost become one of the best point guards in the league again.
Yeah.
After the step back that
He's
he
the
was
best point guard in the
obviously
East right
asked.
now.
Yeah, that he was obviously asked to do. He is leading assists by a good 20 assists right now. Like he's crazy. But yeah, definitely. I mean, the way that he's integrated all of these pieces together, Kawhi is fit in seamlessly. Everyone's happy. They're playing amazing basketball. Serge Ibaka's playing some of the best basketball I've seen from out of him in years.
Definitely since his sort of peak days in Oklahoma City. My poll result was too early to tell. A lot of people said so. I think that he is a Coach of the Year candidate.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think that the way he's got them playing and
what was that no percentage, mate? So you had three results: yes, no, and too early to say. 3% said no.
So 3%.
That says a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does. But Nick, Doc Rivers is a horrible grandfather. You've got your niece, mate. You're good. You're pretty good with kids. You like the little ones.
Yep.
But I'm going to quote here, and this is from a couple of days ago.
This is amazing.
About a week. Last night, Austin Rivers was asked about how Doc is as a grandfather. So the Wizards obviously were visiting the Clippers. His answer was interesting. Trying to answer that the right way. He's okay. He's okay to keep it short. Shit, he's the same guy he was as a father. Just trying to ask when is he going to start playing basketball. That's about it. Come on, Doc. Like what?
Wow.
You don't need to have value as a man, as a person, just by playing basketball. Like, give Austin a break.
I can just imagine it'd be one of those. You've seen the How I Met Your Mother episode where Ted can only talk to his dad about baseball. It is the same thing. Like, conversation is dry.
Yep.
He doesn't talk about anything
Yep.
other than basketball.
Guarantee you, like,
hey, I had a kid.
Yeah.
Not this is an amazing moment. If you need me, like, I'll babysit, whatever. I don't know.
yeah.
When's he play basketball?
Like you can
Amazing.
imagine. You could literally imagine him saying that. Like,
And imagine I hate to think the childhood that Austin Rivers actually
God.
had.
Like, imagine the
pressure.
Thanksgiving is coming up. It's gonna be a bit orcs. Like, bringing the new kid in. Like, Doc's probably gonna like give him for Christmas. He's definitely gonna want those like mini basketball rings.
But if you've got no expectation to him to be an amazing grandfather, then I guess no harm, no foul. I guess
He's a horrible grandfather, Nick. It's
I
a
mean,
fact, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's obviously, guys, if you think
I'd be willing to say he'd be doing more for his Clippers team
that he would
than he would for his granddaughter.
Granddaughter or grandson. I think
Grand person.
you're a grand person, mate. Play that JB Team of the Week music.
JB Team of the Week.
Yes, I've stopped fist bumping so I can actually go through JB Team. Like, at point guard, it's obviously Derrick Rose who put a career-high 50 points, along with 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and the game-winning block as the Timberwolves won an emotional night in Minneapolis. Derrick Rose is still a dick. Look into it. Google it. Shooting guard Klay Thompson found his shooting form and in an emphatic fashion as he launched for 52 points while breaking Steph's record for most threes in a game as he put up 14 for the total game, for the total outing.
These two aren't surprising.
Nick, I'm not saying this line. Can you say
Can I say? Okay. The way that Klay is shot on that Tuesday, I think it was pretty early in the week.
Yeah, right.
It's like when you haven't masturbated in a very, very long time. I mean, imagine the Pope. It's just, I mean, I'm crossing a lot of boundaries.
It's been a while since I've seen Ali actually as well.
It just builds and builds, and you know, your testicles try to grow a little bit. And it builds until you release, and it's just a massive explosion.
Rightio.
Vesuvius everywhere.
Small
and
forward,
that's exactly what happened.
Small forward Jimmy Butler had 32 points. Made a career-high 6 3-pointers, 5 in the fourth quarter as the Wolves out-raced the Lakers. I don't know what's going on with Jimmy, but he's still playing well. He also had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block to go with his 32 points. At power forward, Kevin Durant poured in 34 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in a narrow win over my Brooklyn Nets. Jojo posted a cool 41 points in 33 minutes, as well as notching up 13 rebounds and 4 blocks, finishing plus 16 as the Sixers made short work of the Clippers in Philly. Rookie watch time, Nicholas. Play it for me.
Put it down, young fella.
Best all-around rookie ever.
The best rookie we've ever seen.
Lesson 1, rookie. Expect the unexpected.
Yes, this is where we award 1, 2, or 3 votes for the rookies for the week just past. Taking out the 1 vote in a nice win over the Heat, Trae Young was incredible. He had a
It's tremendous, Nicholas. It works well with the alliteration.
Trae Young was tremendous, putting up a filthy stat line of 24 points, 5 rebounds, 15 assists, and a block.
That's pretty good. Trae Young got a block.
He's not so smoky for Rookie of the Year right now. Like
he's
not so
5.
smoky, mate.
He's
definitely top 3 for rookies right now.
Well, 2 votes.
2 votes. Wendell Carter Jr. had a nice night, making his rookie watch debut in a loss to the Warriors. 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He backed it up the very next game in a narrow loss to Denver with an even better showing, finishing 25 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, and 3 steals.
He's killing it, man. I'm really liking Wendell Carter.
That is a fantastic night.
Shout out to begin to Wendell Carter
Close
Jr.
to a quintuple 5.
Quintuple 5?
Quintuple 5 game. So
Okay,
you got 5 in 5. You get more than 5 in 5 stats.
I know you're a big fan of it, Nicholas. 3 votes?
The quintuple double's coming back. As soon as Porzingis comes back, mate. What do you watch?
We shall see. We shall see.
Luka Doncic taking out the 3 votes. He buried 4 threes en route to a new career high, 31. He also had 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block to go along with that. So very nice outings there for Rookie Watch.
Yeah. Our rookies continue to dominate. We get to do off topic again, Nicholas. I don't know who's messaging us. They must be really keen for off topic. But play it for me.
How about we play the basketball?
What the heck are you talking about?
Now the question is, pants or shorts?
Sandwiches, toasted or fresh? He just sits on people.
That is complete shit.
What? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Off topic.
Off topic.
Off topic.
Off topic?
Yeah, so this off topic is inspired by Raptors forward, OG Anunoby. And he had some interesting words to say in the little halftime timeout preview. It was listing certain fears. So let's take a listen to what he said.
Coyotes, dogs, cats, fish, spiders, hamsters, rats, seagulls, whales, cottage cheese.
I'm sorry, what?
Cottage cheese.
So
he's got turophobia, Nicholas.
Is that a thing?
Turophobia. Fear of cheeses. That's what it is.
I'm sorry, who is afraid of cottage cheese?
Well, metro.co.uk, she has a severe phobia of cheese and she's getting pranked by her friends. She's a kid. I mean,
it'd be easy to do. I mean,
easy. Just buy her pizza. Just buy her pizza. Just get a pizza delivered to her house.
I was going to say throw blocks of cheese at
That's
like cheese cubes.
a little bit more irrational, mate. But this is inspired by obviously OG's Cotta cheese comments.
Cotta cheese.
We're gonna discuss some foods that are a little bit scary.
I mean, scary foods, I guess. I mean, all right. Can I ask you this, Jack?
Okay, sure.
Is cottage cheese the scariest of the cheeses?
Yep.
I mean, I would say no. It's up there.
Okay.
It's not the scariest.
So, non-scary cheeses. Let's rule out some big ones. Just tasty cheese.
Tasty cheese, like cheddar.
And what about the cheese whiz? You scared of that? It could be a bit...
I mean, that could be a weapon.
Yeah.
That's pressurized cheese.
Yeah, I'll probably have that a bit up there. I mean, is it as scary as cottage cheese? Cottage cheese? I'd say...
I mean, cottage cheese,
Consistency.
it looks gross.
Yeah, but like looks and
it's like
scary.
horrid cheese.
There's a difference between gross and fear. Like, that's the thing.
People are afraid of snakes because they're gross. And they kill things.
No, but like, I get what you're saying. Like, cockroaches are like gross or whatever. Yeah. Rats are gross. And that's what makes them partly scary. So maybe cottage cheese, is that the reason why OG's afraid of it?
Maybe. I mean, camembert and brie are surrounded by mold.
Oh, I fucking love brie, bro.
It's nice. It is tasty, but I'm sure people like cottage cheese.
What is your most feared cheese?
Blue vein cheese.
Oh, come on, bro.
Blue vein cheese is
disgusting. Get that stank.
It's gross. And it's got blue veins.
Blue's my favourite colour, baby. I love some of that blue.
It does not belong in cheese.
Have you had blue cheese on a burger? Oh, bro, it just changed.
No. No.
What have you had, like,
Buffalo wings do not go well with blue cheese. Blue cheese dip? No.
Whenever, like, I think
ranch.
we did it with...
Ranch, my boy.
Piss off, ranch.
Ranch dressing?
Yes, alright, mate. I remember when we went to a wing place, and I think I did get blue cheese and you got ranch. But that's for, like, the celery. But, Nick, are there any other foods that scare you a little bit? Any, like, dairies or...
I mean, if you're lactose intolerant, dairies would be the most frightening thing in the bloody world.
Yes, sir.
I mean, any food allergy, really. Mussels scare me.
Okay. Oysters?
They're gross. Yeah, mussels, oysters.
Okay.
Shellfish.
Okay. I like it.
Oh, no. I'm not allergic. I just... They're the most disgusting things. They're slimy.
Yeah.
And they're just... Like, the way that you eat them, it's like... You've got to, like, open up your gullet and just let it slide. Ugh.
I mean, I'm still a bit befuddled by the fact that OG is scared of a food, but we're trying to rationalise it. I mean, OG, hit us up if you want to jump on the pod, mate.
I mean, he did say fish. Fish are scary.
Fish, but he said seagulls, he said
fish and then whales. I guess whales are mammals.
They are mammals. That's a big discrepancy. They're a lot bigger as well.
Yes.
But I'm on some websites and looking up scary foods. Black pudding. Is it the blackness? Is it the pudding element? What's scary?
I don't even know what black pudding is.
It's like part of the traditional English breakfast. Did you not have one when you were in London hanging with me? I think we just.
Are you traditionally English?
I've been there for a couple of years. Literally every time I go to a school now, they think I'm English because I don't teach like long term. But I don't know. There's obviously if you're. I mean,
there are some cultures that like cook insects.
Yeah.
And that's like, I guess, fairly scary. I mean, I saw a cake in the shape of Pennywise the Clown. That is a scary cake.
But it's still cake, though. Like, you can't be scared of cake.
I mean, if it looks like a clown that's going to kill me, then sure.
But then you eat it, so you take away the fear. Like, you're facing your fears by literally putting it in your face.
Yeah, but hold on. I saw a cake that was like it was shaped as a newborn child, and then they cut its head. It was traumatic.
What about, like, erotic cakes, Nicholas? You a fan of the erotic cakes?
Penis cakes?
Yeah, well,
cakes.
Butt cakes. You can bury your face in the butt.
The butt. I mean, you
don't like it when
cakes aren't scary, but cakes can be shaped as scary things.
They can. So you're saying that you don't like it when things look like other things, to an extent. Whatever that, like, anamorphism or... Now I mean,
there's something unsettling about chopping the head off a child.
There is?
Whether it's a cake or not a cake, Jack.
Oh, okay.
It is unsettling.
I probably shouldn't be saying some bad things about kids in the scene as I'm a teacher. Hopefully VIT isn't listening. But yes, foods. I don't understand how you can be scared of food. So I mean, I get what you're saying a little bit.
Like the squid ink noodles in Japan.
Okay.
Like the black burger buns.
Yep.
I mean, I've had the black burger bun. They don't taste any different whatsoever.
Yeah.
But like squid ink noodles freak me out. They're black. And like a black burger bun would freak people out, and they do. They're skeptical on it.
Are you now being racist in your food preferences, Nicholas?
I mean,
it's evident.
Squid ink, mate.
Damn those squids. Pufferfish is like the thing that almost killed Homer. I get why people are scared of that. It needs to
be like delicately cooked and like to not poison. Yeah.
The most scary thing I've ever seen, though, Nicholas, like on what is it? Foodandwine.com. Cheeseburger in a can. That freaks me out. How can you take the awesomeness of a burger and like condense it into can form? Like, I mean, they kind of do it with Spam, I guess, to an extent, but like I don't understand.
I'm fairly sure I've seen like hot dog in a can or
not in a
can.
The cocktail sort of thing, yeah.
No, I don't think it's a can, but it's like a
jar.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of different food vessels.
A hot dog in a jar. I can just imagine like Whole Foods or something selling. I wouldn't sell anything that unhealthy. It'll probably be like red pickled
Walmart.
Yeah.
Shout out to Walmart if you want to jump on board as a sponsor. Whole Foods, you know, we're willing to take any sponsors on, ladies and gentlemen. Sportsbet, we're still waiting to hear.
Sportsbet.com.au.
Cheeseburger in a can, Nick. Thoughts?
It's gross.
What do you think?
What other thoughts? I mean, exactly. How much preservatives, how much processed crap is in that?
It's produced
so that a burger can be held in a can.
It's produced by the German company Trekking Malzeiten as a snack for those on the move.
It's like I saw microwavable burgers. Like, but it's not like you just microwave the meat and you microwave the whole burger.
That's where'd you see that?
It's in Coles. It's like a micro, because there's microwave forms
ready-made meals.
Yeah,
in that section,
because there's like Mrs. Max came out with like a crispy microwavable pies and sausage rolls, and because they were amazing, they figured out their microwavable stuff down to a T. But then I saw a microwavable hamburger, and it wasn't just the patties; it was
the bun,
everything,
the cheese.
Yeah.
Was there a tomato?
No, I don't think there was vegetables.
Just a cheeseburger.
So like, I mean, that can't be. What, you microwave a lettuce and it and it turns into a fully fleshed lettuce?
I don't know, Nicholas. Food technology astounds me. There's cheeseburgers in cans now, mate.
Yeah, that is incredible.
If you're scared of any foods, you want to just have a chat about it. We're obviously very understanding. We just spent 10 minutes talking about it.
Foods can be terrifying.
Or if the German food company Trekking Malzeiten would like to sponsor the podcast, I'm going to hit them up.
We're really scraping the barrel right
now. We'll take anything. We are sellouts. We'll take anything. If you guys know of a brother who's selling some canned foods on the street and he's trying to make $1 and get his name out there, it's a really weird segue. But do the spiel before I get even weirder. I don't know what's going on, mate.
I think we've had enough. We're going a bit loopy, so that just about does it for another episode of Just Bowl Things. So thank you for tuning in. You can catch us every Monday on the Nothing But Net Radio channel. As always, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Blog Talk Radio, wherever it is you listen to your podcast. I use Pocket Casts. I think it cost me like $1.20, worth every penny.
Bang.
Do us a solid, leave us a rating and review there as well. You can contact us at the JManJBT or at JBT Nick on Twitter. You should also hit up OTG Basketball at OTG Basketball. You can read some awesome NBA articles there. We plugged a few on the show already. Jack's written a few. And yeah, heaps of other fire content there as well. Just Ball Things on Facebook. You can find us there. Just search that. And JBTpodcast at gmail.com. We'll read your emails on the show.
Sponsors.
If you've got any. Yes, sponsorship.
Sponsor.a.
Look at you, Sportsbet, Ladbrokes, William Hill. The racing carnivals around the corner. Yeah, that's it.
Before Cup Day.
That's it.
We have 24 hours to get a sponsor.
All right, remember, it's you guys that make the show great, so we appreciate any and every post heading our way. So until next week.
Keep balling, superstars.